Kia ora koutou. Ngā mihi nui kai Matariki. Lee is quite right. I decided that since the season is upon us, it's time to think a bit about it and test how well we all know what it's all about. This, any chance to celebrate, and we are increasingly celebrating Matariki. So, the obvious question, the first one off the bat, what is it? There's a few options here. Now, I've done the cruel thing. I haven't done your multi-choice. Giving you 1 minute to think about it, and the honesty box will be if you get any of the answers or not. So, what is Matariki? The traditional Māori celebration of the New Year. It's also the appearance of a cluster of stars on the horizon known as Pleiades. And it is also a traditional astronomical and navigational sign, well known in the Pacific cultures. If you got one, please put in the box, and if you got two, please put in the box. Okay. I should have asked you the question first. How many stars in the constellation? 6. Who said 6? Come on. If you didn't get 7, put in the box. Here are the traditional names of the constellation. Tupuanuku, Tupuarangi, Waiti, Urarangi, Waipunaarangi, Waita, and Matariki. So it is 7, all told. Okay. Got other names. This has got other names, this constellation. And how many do you think you can get? If you can't get more than one, you're going to have to pay up. Can't even get one. Good Francis, you're in for the kill. You're in for it. Okay. I gave you a hint. The 7 sisters. Obviously, yep. It's also called, this is a well-known constellation, as I said, in the Pacific, so the other hint was that other countries do have names for it. So Subaru actually is the well-known Japanese, and if you've ever driven behind the car, you would have seen the constellation. Tiny eyes is sometimes how it's considered, because as it first comes up on the horizon, that's what it's considered to look like. So just in terms of visuals, Matariki. However, given the season and the nature of the change, Matariki, so it is the eyes of God coming to us and greeting us in the new season. There's always some astronomer from Europe doing their thing, and apparently it's in astronomy terms where there's more formula by the French, mesure 45, so as they navigated the Pacific, this is what they called it. And our cousins up in Hawaii, Makalai. Again, you got the hints, so you fellas should be paying up if you didn't get all the hints. So when is it? Lee and I greeted you on it. You obviously all know it is, but when is it? Is it? Okay. So the theory, if you say now, let's go with that and see what it might cost you. Theoretically, the stars will appear on the 18th of June. That's when they're thinking they'll appear on the horizon. However, that depends on where you are relative to the horizon. So, pretty arbitrary pool for Wellington, saying the 18th of June. It is sometimes considered not there until you actually get to the new moon. So again, this is what I love about the Māori world. We can decide down at a very local level when we do what. So sometimes it's this, when the first new moon occurs. And actually in the country we've got a lot of leeway. That's what I like about the Kiwi spirit. We're pretty flexible at what we do. So it could be anywhere in this time. And what I particularly like about that, loads of opportunity for ongoing celebration. Let's not waste the opportunity. So if you didn't get any of these, pay up. Now, how to celebrate? Both traditionally and now in the modern form. Let's think about whether or not you can figure out any of the ways the traditional celebrations occurred, and most of them have carried through. It's of course a time of bringing in the harvest. So traditionally the kumara and root vegetables were stored, and out of that you find which is the best of your vegetable to take forward into the new year. It's a time in the season when the moki and kororo are going, but it's also because it's a celebration when you bring out the best of what you've had from your harvest of the year. So someone like me is particularly interested in things like the tuna, the eel and titi. What are you, Phyllis? Mutton, sorry, forget the name of titi. Okay. It is the time when you get ready to plant the crops, because as with all cultures, when you get the halfway point between the seasons, you know what's best in your crop to plant forward. But most important of all, it's the time when you renew your relationships. It's the time of celebration, and you do that with whānau and friends. So it's always a great time of celebration to do that, and continues to be so. And that is one of the things that actually, not just Māori, but everyone in New Zealand is now taking the chance to do. It is absolutely, as with all cultures that have this kind of pivotal point in the season, reflecting on the year past and planning for the year ahead, whether it be in your social arena or the economic arena. Now, I put in my personal favourite because I want to recommend that you all take up this particular opportunity. Over at Te Papa, we always have the Kaumātua Kapahaka. That's on the 3rd of July, I think, this year. But again, what's happening with Matariki, because it is now a celebration for all, not just for Māori, but for all, there's a huge range of celebrations going on that are really worthwhile getting into. So, as it is a time of reflection, I just wondered if you know any of these facts I'm about to put up, then you're abdicated from having to put anything in the box. Census 2013 tells us 1 in 7 New Zealanders are of Māori ethnicity. We are a youthful population, median age is 24. The largest group of Māori now are the working age population. This is a significant part of the workforce of New Zealand. Yay, since 2006 there's been a 50% increase in acquiring formal qualifications by the Māori population of working, particularly of working age. Occupationally, there is a significant increase away from labouring occupation and into professional and management. Ngāpuhi continues to be the largest affiliated iwi in the country, so anyone involved in settlement will be going, right, need to sort that out, need to figure out what that means for the country. And nearly a quarter of all Māori in New Zealand, resident in New Zealand, live in Auckland. The Māori authorities are responsible for 20% of the total seafood exports of New Zealand. That's a major part of the Māori economy. And China is the leading destination of all of the primary industry trade from Māori authorities. And this is not a stats number, but I thought I'd share it because we're not quite on top of this number yet. Estimated asset base of 36.96 billion. So finally, as we get to celebrate that obviously economically and socially New Zealand is getting the benefit of this growth forward by Māori, what are the other kinds of New Year festivals, because actually there are many and we celebrate multi-diversity in this country. Right, let's see what we've got. I don't plan to have covered all of them. We've got Chinese, remember, and the Vietnamese and Koreans tend to celebrate this too, and tends to be in January. We've got Jewish, Rosh Hashanah, August. We've of course got New Year and Hogmanay that we all know, that comes from the Gregorian calendar. We've got Islamic, and that tends to shift depending on the moon, so you can in some years get that twice in one Gregorian year. We do have more of the Vietnamese celebrations occurring, and we've got the Iranian. There are of course others. So great time to remember. Celebrations are always worthwhile and always a great opportunity.